Don't be sad, learn to deal with your reality. A battle between two tribes in the central mosque of Kufa broke out when members of each tribe began to hurl insults at the other tribe. A man who was in the mosque stealthily made his escape in order to seek out Al-Afna, who was recognized by all as a consummate peacemaker. The man found him in his house milking a goat, was dressed in a garment that was not even worth 10 dirhams. It was ragged and cheap. He was emaciated, haggard looking, and one of his legs was longer than the other, which gave him a bad limb. When he was informed of the news, no change became manifest on his countenance, and he remained calm. This display of fortitude stems from the fact that Al-Ahha had witnessed much strife and hardship during his life, and consequently he became used to such an occurrence. He told the man, by the will of Allah, everything will be all right. He then began to take his breakfast as if nothing had happened. His breakfast consisted of a morsel of dry bread, oil, salt, and a glass of water. He mentioned Allah's name and ate. Then he praised Allah and said, wheat from Iraq, oil from Syria, water from Dajjala, Tigris, and salt from Merv. Verily, these are great blessings. He put on his clothes, took his walking stick, and made his way to the people. When they saw him, their gazes became fixed on him, and they listened attentively to what he had to say. He said words of peace and of compromise, words that pleased both sides, and he requested them to depart and go their own ways. They all acquiesced, and each of them left without a trace of rancor remaining in his heart, and in this way the ordeal ended peacefully. An Arab poet said, one can reach nobility even if his clothes are tattered and his pocket is patched. There are many lessons to be learned from this narrative. One of them is that greatness is not in appearance of clothes. Or other lessons are that having few material possessions is not an indication of misery, and that happiness does not reside in comfort and wealth. As for man, when his Lord tries him by giving him honor and gifts, then he says, puffed up, my Lord has honored me. But when he tries him, by straightening his means of life, he says, my Lord has humiliated me. Another lesson we should take away from the narrative is that a person's character and qualities are the yardsticks of his worth, and not his clothes, shoes, or house. His worth is weighed by his knowledge, generosity, manners, and deeds. Verily, the most honorable of you with Allah is that believer who has a at-taqwa, who is pious. The connection between the narrative and the subject matter of this book is that happiness is not found in opulence, mansions, gold, or silver. Instead, happiness is something that manifests itself in the heart through faith, contentment, and knowledge. So let not their wealth or their children amaze you. Say, in the bounty of Allah and in His mercy, Islam and the Quran, therein let them rejoice. That is better than what the wealth they amass. Train yourselves to surrender your will to whatever is decreed for you. What will you do if you do not believe in the decree of Allah? Whatever you plan other than complete submission to Allah's divine decree will provide no benefit for you. And so you may ask, what is the solution to hardships? The solution is to say sincerely, we are contented, pleased, and have surrendered our wills. Wheresoever you may be, death will overtake you, even if you are in fortresses built up strong and high. One of the most difficult days of my life, and a most painful day it was when the doctor told me that the arm of my brother, Muhammad, had to be amputated. The news fell upon my ears like thunder. I was overcome with emotion, and my soul sought comfort in Allah's sayings. No calamity befalls but with the leave, decision, and qadr, divine preordainments of Allah, and whosoever believes in Allah, he guides his heart to the true faith. But give glad tidings to the patient ones, who, when afflicted with calamity, say, truly to Allah we belong, and truly to Him we shall return. These verses instilled a sense of peace and comfort in my soul. There is no form of artifice that can prevent from happening that which is decreed. Therefore we must keep faith and submit our wills, or have they plotted some plan? Then we too are planning, and Allah has full power and control over His affairs. When He decrees a matter, He only says to it, be, and it is. Was told in one breath of the death of her 4 boys, who all died in the path of Allah at the Battle of Al-Qadisiyah. Her only reaction was to praise Allah and thank Him for choosing what was best. Faith fortifies one's ability to persevere through hardship, and through gratitude one achieves happiness in this life and in the hereafter. If you are loath to follow this advice, then ask yourself this: is there a viable alternative? If that alternative is bitterness, complaining, and a refusal to accept what has happened, then you will only bring upon yourself pain in this life and in the hereafter. Wherever is contented, then for him is pleasure, and whoever displays anger, then for him is wrath.